Glory to Jesus Christ. I'm Father Photius Avant, and welcome to a brief Catechism of the Orthodox Church. In this series, we will explore the fundamental beliefs and teachings of the Orthodox Church. Last week, we addressed the criteria for our faith and the framework within which we understand it. This week, we will discuss the central problem within human existence, which is twofold: sin and death. Is there anything unique about human beings? According to Genesis, yes, there is, just as there is something unique about God. He exists before all things. He creates the heavens and the earth from nothing. Everything comes into existence through His Word. Light, the firmament between the waters, vegetation, the sun, the moon, the stars, sea creatures, birds, and land animals are all created at His Word. He also orders the creation by a series of separations, dividing the light from the darkness, the waters above the heavens from the waters below the heavens, the dry land from the seas, and male from female. All of these things He looked upon as good, because they exist as He intended for them to exist. Human beings, however, are different. God does not say, "Let there be human beings." He says in chapter 1, verse 26, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." Verses 27 and 28 say further, "So God created man in His own image. In the image of God He created him. Male and female He created them. And God blessed them, and God said to them, 'Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over every living thing that moves on the earth.'" Allow me to make three observations. First, God expresses a desire to create human beings, male and female, in His image and likeness. Second, He personally invests Himself in creating human beings, but when He does so, the text tells us only, "In the image of God He created him." It says nothing of the likeness. And three, at no point does God specifically look upon human beings and see that they were good. What is the image of God? Does it mean that God, according to His nature, looks like us? Both rabbis and fathers of the Church agree that this is not the case. Human beings are in the image of God in that we are endowed with intellect, reason, and free will, among other things. So why doesn't God immediately give human beings His likeness? Because this is something that human beings must achieve by our way of life, which is meant to be one of constant cooperation with God. Why doesn't God look upon human beings and declare us good? Because we do not yet have the likeness of God, and we are not yet finished. By setting human beings in authority over the earth and over every living thing, He sought to have us grow into His likeness by loving stewardship, by humility, and by uniting all of creation to present back to Him in love. Because God is eternal, without beginning and without end, it is His desire that human beings should grow increasingly into His likeness throughout eternity. There were many trees in the Garden of Eden, but two are of special interest to us: the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. The tree of life had the ability to make human beings live forever. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil also provided what its name purports. In our newly created state, in addition to the positive commands to be fruitful and multiply, to fill the earth and subdue it, and to have dominion over every living thing, God gave only one negative command: "The tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in the day that you shall eat of it, you shall surely die." God did not say that He would kill them if they ate the fruit. He said simply that they would die. Was the tree bad? On the contrary, in the previous chapter, God had looked upon all of His creation as very good. What are we to make of the fact that it was placed in the garden, but the man and the woman were not allowed to eat from it? We can see that God intended for the man and the woman to have it at a later point, but not in their new and inexperienced state. He wanted them to first learn loving obedience and trust. After all, he had done nothing to make them distrust him, nor would he ever do any such thing. Problems for human beings begin with an envious member of God's angelic council, the one we now refer to as the devil. He was outraged that God would make an animal in his image, and evermore that this animal could grow into his likeness, something not even the angels could achieve. In the text, he is portrayed as a serpent, but the bite he gives is his words, and the venom of the bite is the woman believing his words. He says, "You shall not surely die, for God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." Part of what he says is true. Their eyes will be opened, and they will be like God, knowing good and evil. The lie is that God was trying to cheat the man and the woman out of something great. The woman believed the serpent, ate the fruit, and gave it to the man, who also ate. In an instant, they received what they are not ready for and see that they are naked. They sew fig leaves together to cover their nakedness and try to hide from God. This movement away from God is highlighted when God calls the man, "Where are you?" God knows the answer, but he wants the man to confess, accept responsibility, and be healed. The man refuses to take responsibility, and so does the woman. They have both demonstrated that they have no interest in a life with God. They prefer the material world as an end in itself. In so doing, human beings fail to become who we were meant to become. We refer to this failure as sin. Join us next time as we discuss the other half of our problem. Please subscribe to our channel, leave your comments below. May God bless you abundantly.